Hey folks, this is Matt once again with another viewer requested review. This is for Mattpocalypse. He wanted me to review Desperado, film from I believe 1995, starring Antonio Banderas, Selma Hayek. You have Steve Buscemi, Cheech Marin's in it, Danny Trejo, and directed by Robert Rodriguez. And watching this film again, it's so much fucking better than Machete. I'm sorry, once again, if you like Machete, that's cool. Go back and watch this film. This film was done, again, 1995. You know what, 15 years before Machete, but yet this film has better action, a better lead actor, has a better pace, and is not cartoony, goofy, stupid. I mean, it starts off, of course, at the beginning of Steve Buscemi walking to a bar, telling the story where he saw the biggest Mexican he ever seen, and Cheech Marin is the bartender there, and basically he tells a story about how Antonio Banderas basically is looking for someone named Bucho, and is shooting the shit out of the place. Very well done, action sequences, choreography, no CGI and bullshit. You have humor that works, that's actually funny, like Steve Buscemi says, can I get another one? This one's dirty. And Cheech Marin's like, fuck you, man. It's clean as one I got. Or, so the bartender leave. The bartender never gets killed. Then Buscemi's like, no. He got the worst. And you find out Steve Buscemi's actually working with Antonio Banderas. And this is kind of a sequel to El Mariachi. Some people call it a remake. Kind of a sequel as well, because they do kind of tie into the ending of the first film, where his character got shot through the hand and stuff like that. His woman was killed. And he wants to basically find the people who killed his woman. Find all the bad guys who killed his woman. And, well, Antonio Banderas enters the bar, and he has a guitar case. He does guitar. And they're like, what's in the guitar case? And he's like, guitar. They open. There is guitar, but the guitar opens up. And Antonio goes, oh shit, like that show shit look. And basically gets the weapons and all hell breaks loose. And he's like, well, let me tell you something. Don't do that. Don't do that, I just want some information. No, don't. A badass firefight where people are flying back. He's shooting it. Like, there's a guy jumping on him. He takes both legs, pushes the guy out. And as the guy falls back, pumps him right full of lead. Just really hardcore action scene. Actually, before that, you had Quentin Tarantino entering as a guy wanting to do business. He has that story where he tells a joke about a bet he had where I bet I can piss in that glass without spilling a drop. He actually pisses everywhere, all over the counter, the floor, over the bartender's face, and the guy's laughing. The bartender says he just wants some money, and he's like, just 1 second, comes back, here you go. Why are you so happy to pay me? Well, because I bet each one of those guys $500 a piece that I could piss on the bar, piss on the counter, and piss on you, and not only will you not be mad at me, you'd be laughing. And they actually take Tarantino back, and then when all hell breaks loose, they think Tarantino's part of it, and Tarantino gets shot in the head. But just a really hardcore action sequence, really well done. Yeah, a little bit of humor where Antonio and this guy is trying to find a gun, they all get empty, and then Antonio finally just breaks his like, fuck you! Great soundtrack too, with the help of Robert Rodriguez. And movie moves really fast. I mean, fun sequences, and we're already in like half an hour in it. It went by at a quick pace. Just quickly right after you meet Selma Hayek, who owns this bookstore and helps Antonio Banderas out. Uh, she stitches him up, gets the bullets out. He goes to the church and talks to Steve Buscemi, and again, a little bit of humor that works, where the father goes, would you like to confess? Confess? Father, where I'm going, I'll just have to come right back. CG humor that works, but it's not so over the top, banging you on the head like Machete. And this film does not use CGI. It has better action sequences and moves at a faster pace. It's not a clusterfuck of actors so that everybody's trying to inch their way in so you don't get a good viewing experience, at least to me. Here, though, it flows better, the story flows better, the action scenes work, all practical, really well done. Over the top, but still entertaining. No bad CGI. Danny Trejo here, he has a small role as an assassin who deals with these blades. He has more to do in this film in like the 5 or so minutes than he does in the entire movie Machete. Because he has those knives. He kills Steve Buscemi, trying to go after Antonio Banderas who escapes, and then there's some other bad guys who think Danny Trejo is the guy they're looking for, and Danny Trejo is like taking most of them out with his knives. There's a scene. See, you watch this, you see a lot of scenes replicated in Machete. For instance, there's a scene where Antonio Banderas is on bed with Salma Hayek, and he pulls a gun out here and a gun out here, and he's like doing this as the woman's right in front of him. They redid that scene in Machete. Only it's done better here because he gets to hear as Salma Hayek and has to kick her down, push her out of the way to shoot at the bad guys. The Danny Trejo, he gets on top of a limo. Only here he actually goes to work with his blades, getting him in anybody until ultimately he does get killed. But then you have the love scene with Salma Hayek, and that scene, like I said, that they ripped off a Machete, and it gets up to the rooftop, and Antonio has to jump one rooftop to another, shooting at the bad guys, and the guy who plays the villain, Bucho, did a great job. He was also the villain in Fast Five just recently. Joaquin de Almeida. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. I think it's Joaquin de Almeida. He did a really great job as the bad guy. Has a little bit of humor to him where the guy says, "No, take my car. It's what I pay. It's why I paid for it." But he's like, how hard is it to shoot someone that you don't know? See that person? I don't know him. Just shoots him. See how easy that is? This is a really fun bad guy, good actor. And then you get to the ending where Antonio calls his two buddies. One of them actually played the El Mariachi in the first film, El Mariachi. And like one, they all have guitars. And the one who used to be El Mariachi, he has two guitar cases. They're basically hardcore machine guns. The other guy, he'll do like this. It's a fucking bazooka with like a couple of missiles in it. And then Antonio has his regular guns. And they fuck up a bunch of bad guys. Ultimately, the two guys Antonio's with get killed. There's a little boy that you see have built some scenes like he's teaching the boy how to play. He gets hurt. Antonio gets into a hospital and goes for the final showdown where he sees Bucho, and you find out Bucho is actually Antonio Banderas' brother's, his character's brother. You find out him and Bucho are brothers, and Antonio didn't know this until that morning. And then one thing leads to another, and the ending, he shoots out his guns because he has like guns attached to his wrist, shoots out, boom, 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 kills Bucho. He's shooting, and then it fades to white, and I didn't like that. I mean, this is your final showdown, your final fight, and okay, you kill the bad guy, but there's like other bad guys, and you fade to white. It's kind of like a jip. Like, really? That's a jip. You know, that's you think they should have that entire scene in there. But that's just one little thing. Because ultimately he visits the hospital again. He gets picked up by Salma Hayek, throws a guitar case, but then comes back and says, "You never know. It's a long way to the next town." And this film is very fun. It's very entertaining. Antonio Banderas does a great job as a lead. I'm sorry, he's a lot better than Danny Trejo. I'm not really a big fan of Danny Trejo. But Antonio Banderas can do a lead role. I liked him in The Mask of Zorro. I liked him more in here. Probably my favorite performance of his is in this film, Desperado. Salma Hayek, Joaquin de Almeida. Nice to see Cheech Marin and Quentin Tarantino, Steve Buscemi, so you got a capable supporting cast. But they fit the film. It's not like it's trying to push the film into 100 directions. This film is not pretentious. It's not about some message movie that they kind of throw in your face like Machete was, in my opinion. Um, this film was to the point. It knew what it was, and it stepped to its source. And that's why I think a lot of people enjoyed it. That's why I enjoyed it. You know, it was they short but little budget, like $7 million around there, and yeah, very solid choreographed action sequences. They were cut together well. You understood what was going on. There was no CGI. Uh, and Antonio Banderas I bought as the lead. The story moved at a very fast pace. Never got bored. And overall, I really enjoyed Desperado. I think it's a solid film. It's definitely one of Robert Rodriguez, one of his best flicks. Nowadays, I don't really trust the guy. That's why I call him Robbie Rod, because I don't like Predators. You look at Desperado and From Dusk Till Dawn, and this is stuff Robert Rodriguez was, granted, he directed those, but he was part of that, and the action and the excitement. And then you look at Predators, yes, he only produced it, but still, you don't get that feeling, and including Machete. People say it's unfair to compare, but Machete and Predators, like Desperado was 1995, From Dusk Till Dawn was 1996. 15, 16 years later, we can't learn, and those were done on very small budgets, and yet they've lost the ability to pack in the action and I don't know. It's like we went from Antonio Banderas and George Clooney as a badass to Adrian Brody and Danny Trejo sleepwalking. Sorry, that's not my cup of tea. That's not my idea of advancement. It's not my idea of progress. And the bottom line is his older films are better. Desperado, and yes, I like Sin City. But I think Desperado for Dusk Till Dawn are his best films so far. And Robert Rodriguez stopped with the Spy Kids movies. No one gives a shit about Spy Kids anymore. That's why Part 4 is bombing so hard. Even in its 4D smell-o-vision. You know what it smells like? It smells like bullshit. So stop it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. If you haven't seen Desperado, definitely check it out. Later.